Okay, you've seen this, you've seen the title, you've seen the thumbnail. It's gonna be a reaction. Just a little heads up, I might not have talked too much for today, at least. Anyways, let's just go to the actual reaction. And for this reaction, we're actually doing Casual Geographics. You know, if you know the guy, I actually like this. And fun fact about me, I like animals. I like learning new things about different kinds of animals. So, and this is the video that I still haven't like watched yet, and I want to watch it with you guys. So yeah, how humanity gave this animal the middle finger. And what I could see about the thumbnail is gonna be a pigeon. And there's no way that's an actual pigeon.
Oh my god, what is that?
There's no way that's definitely some sort of morph pigeon. That's no normal pigeon. Yo! Oh! Nah. Those pigeons are from the mafia. I'm just gonna say that. Those pigeons are from the mafia. Those are the pigeon mafias.
And why he was an icon. But did you know there were at least two creatures that khaki animal Jesus was afraid of?
Really?
Hippos.
Oh, makes sense.
No further explanation.
Makes sense.
But also parrots.
Really?
Yeah, the same Steve Irwin that cuddled crocodiles got a hickey from a python on live TV and a.
Really? A parrot? You're not joking about that, right? An actual parrot.
Apologized to the python.
Surprising.
This was the same man that experienced legitimate fear in the face of an overgrown parakeet. And the crazy part is, that has nothing to do with this video. I really only brought that up to make my biggest fear sound less ridiculous. Because out of all the animals in the world,
Don't tell me you're afraid of pigeons. Well, considering there's multiple types of pigeons, like multiple species, probably there's some probably effed up pigeons out there. But I just can't see him being afraid of pigeons.
historically only been afraid.
And I'm not gonna pause anymore. Except for now. Before I actually do this, if you want to watch this without any form of my commentary, it's gonna be in the description down below and in the pinned comments down below as well. So if you want to watch that without my commentary, just click that and watch it. And also support the actual creator, Casual Geographic.
Foot pythons when I was 6. I've had no problems with the spiders in my house. I've always had
me
a
too.
soft spot for sharks. Yet the one animal that stopped me dead in my matter of fact, just guess. What do y'all think I'm about to say?
Pigeons.
There's an ad while you grapple with that. Pigeons. It's always been pigeons. I could
But how?
Explain it, but as early
Why?
As I remember, these bum doves put the fear of Dante's Inferno in every fiber of my vessel. There's two stories that sum up my feelings about pigeons. As a kid, I could vaguely remember crossing the street with my dad when one of the spawns of avian antichrist popped out from under the car like a Five Nights at Freddy's jump scare. And from the way my dad likes to tell this story, apparently I recoiled so bad that I jumped back and nearly got turned into a speed bump by a passing van. There is an alternate
Okay, that makes sense. Why you became traumatized, but seriously?
So this is really more exposure therapy than an actual video, and the first step is understanding. There are a lot more types of pigeons than my subconscious ever cursed me with.
How much though?
350 pallets of pigeons.
What? That's a lot more than I expected. I expected like what, 50? Best like 70? But 300?
Populating the planet.
Huh.
The Victoria crowned pigeon.
I'm sorry I'm pausing so much, but are we sure those pigeons? Are we sure those are pigeons? Looks like rare skins. Kinda like how we saw a Pokemon base, for example. That's basically a shiny.
The biggest bird on the roster whose headdress got it named after royalty. Then there's the
it looked like a peacock.
Closest thing to a present day dodo and definitely the hype.
Ooh, that looks like just like a fade. I'm sorry, but are we sure? Okay, this part right here is what giving in a pigeon for me, but everything else is nah. It's just nah.
Flexor of the family. Can't forget the Karuru, the New Zealand
Okay.
famous for being a crippling alcoholic. As in they'll
Actually know that.
Fermented fruit that they legit forget how to fly.
Yeah, if you don't know, this basically pigeon. I didn't even know it was a pigeon, if I'm being honest with you. I know there's a bird that drinks fermented like berries, fruits, to the point that it's basically alcoholic. Because how much fermentation they did on the fruits. I don't know how they managed to get that first.
You've probably heard the phrase turtle dove, especially this time of year. Well, today I found out that I apparently had no clue what they look like, or that they originated from the Middle East. A hop, skip, and an 8-hour flight to the Philippines, and you'll find a Luzon bleeding heart pigeon named...
Huh? Wait, what? Makes sense why it's called bleeding heart. Literally red spots.
Reasons. You got the silvery wood, the maroon pigeon,
Okay.
the purple winged dove.
I actually know that purple winged dove.
And then you got the pigeons humans bred like dogs. Which
No. Sorry for pausing so much, but
and then you got the pigeon.
Are we sure that's a pigeon? Or are we sure that's its actual look?
Pigeons humans bred like dogs, which would easily make this the pug of poultry. It's like a pigeon police sketch done by a kindergartner.
So it's actually real.
Knowledge of anything bird. There's hundreds of breeds of pigeons, and
holy frick! It
might just be the nastiest word.
Holy! I'm sorry for pausing again, but holy frick! It's actually real. I'm both amazed and kinda still be amazed.
Although the English carrier might just be a close second because
what the frick?
What even is this? What was the
exactly
the outcome? All those
Huh? At least just the face. But what the frick is this? I'm sorry if there's a cut. My mouse won't cooperate and my space bar won't press for some reason, so yeah. But I thought it was just a face, but everything here looks kinda off, but not off. I just don't know what.
Goal if this was the outcome. All those pigeon remixes go back to the OG, the rock dove, aka the main mugshot that comes up when you Google pigeon.
Yeah.
And this is where I stopped hating and
but the thing is, our pigeons here, where it's not like that, but also like that. Like they're like a little bit slimmer in a sense, but still basically looks the same.
For example, the rock dove was originally only found here. Well, actually,
which one?
In the dark red. That's right. Any place outside this red is a place people uber the scourge of my soul. That includes what might as well be
New York.
The world, New York City.
Yeah.
So of course, I just had to grow up 15 minutes from it because RNG. Apparently, pigeons first touched American soil in the early 1600s via Europeans. That means the
makes sense.
City merchant is more natural to the Sahara Desert than to the.
Wait. Okay, that makes sense. Why their name is Rock Dove.
After the reason I'm making this video.
What's the one thing you spend way too much time thinking about?
I think all the time about how we domesticated pigeons and then we decided we don't want to use them anymore for like messages. So they are completely reliant on humans. Have you ever seen like a nest of a pigeon?
No, and I didn't know we domesticated them either.
Yeah, their like nests are like 3 twigs and like the egg is just on the cold ground. So
because they don't know how to build a nest because we messed them up?
Yeah.
I did not know how to take this revelation, and after she's half right. Pigeon.
I mean, yeah. Technically, we used them at wars, communication back then. Very often, I think it was around 300 years. I think 3 or 200 years, probably even longer, that we use pigeons as communications. Huh.
Nest is a meme as old as time. This is really something only an animal with no access to birth control could come up with. It's heavy on them kids, but before they're even born. At this point, it's like they're trying so hard not to try that it would literally take less effort to try. The thing is, they weren't named rock dove for nothing. In the wild, they normally raise their aesthetic children on cliff ledges or crevices, which ended up
makes sense.
Not that far off from where they shack up now.
Double makes sense.
The ground's flat and the egg doesn't roll away to become a late termination and an early.
I mean, that's basically what you only need, right?
All they need. Minimalism for the win. But the other point she made about us pretty much abandoning them, turns out it's pretty accurate. Which actually brings me to my second story. So I had spent the day walking around New York with my mom and was understandably starving. So hungry that we decided to get food from a street side meat vendor. The cardinal sin of the city, but we didn't know any better. The food was immediately off, but
ooh, that actually looks tasty.
The meat tasting gamey and fatty and had this really strong aftertaste that I'd never experienced.
Oh wait, wait, don't tell me it's pigeon. Don't tell me it's pigeon. Oh, it's definitely not sanitary.
avoid just
It's definitely not sanitary. Well, ads. Why? And second of all, let's continue.
Now that story is almost completely made up, but peep out just the idea of getting calories from a concrete chicken probably
Actually, to be honest with you, I could see it happening. I could definitely see it happening.
disgusted most of y'all. The thing is,
Not really.
regularly eaten by people in a lot of places. Squab is a name for an immature prepubescent domestic pigeon, and
Yeah.
it's considered a delicacy depending on where you're standing. Which shouldn't even really be a surprise because one thing about pigeons, they get violated by the entire food chain. I've seen what
The meme. Let me just rewind real quick. I'm sorry for so much disturbance. But the meme, I just can't see anything but the meme like saying, "You effed up, boy. You effed up."
food chain. I've seen
I
with my
just
pigeons
can't.
get absolutely bodied by a street savage.
Even
They
rats?
somehow manage to find ways to take L's.
Even
In
turtles?
fact, there's a catfish that specializes in murking an animal that literally got gift wrapped the ability
What
to
the
fly.
frick?
And to add insult to injury, the fish is virtually
Bro, pigeons. Huh? And how are there still so many of them if they're getting murked by everything? Even catfish that you can fly.
blind. How do you fumble that bad? Pretty much the entire cast of Over the Hedge plays
Even raccoons?
pigeons. And we've all seen how pelicans conduct
Well,
themselves.
pelicans are understandable.
And humans were no different. Food was one of the many reasons pigeons were added to the American census. Another reason was to employ them as
Okay.
messengers before iPhone.
Yeah, basically messengers.
But another reason,
What the frick? That actually looks so cute. That actually looks so cute. So cute. But the question is, why is it
there
there?
was a time where owning a pack of pigeons wasn't just normal, it was a sign of status.
I actually know this one. I don't know why and how I know this one, but I actually know this one.
The Mughal Empire had not one, but 2,000 pigeons as
Holy moly.
make that 20,000 pet pigeons.
What? Bro. Why would you need that many? I know it's a sign of status and wealth and all, but 2,000?
But in the time since, hoarding pigeons went from a flex to something that guarantees you dirty looks on the subway. And that's thanks to one of the most
I mean, to be honest with you, I still want to have a pet pigeon. I just want.
egregious gaslight campaigns you've ever seen. In June
Okay.
1966, New York Parks Commissioner Thomas Hoving verbally eviscerated pigeons, blaming them for spreading filth and disease, and used the term
Aren't they like one of the cleanest one?
rats with wings. And just like that, the pigeon's reputation went straight to hell. No return trip.
Like,
A couple things that are interesting though. In the same article, Mr. Hoving
Like,
also
aren't they-
called the
aren't they one of
homeless
the cleanest
sexuals for
birds?
bringing property value down. He also became the
Or am I
commissioner
wrong on that
January
one?
16th, 1966, and resigned March 15th of the next year. His actual term was
Damn.
just a year, but the slander he tagged the Metro Tweety with was permanent. Then Woody Allen dogpiled on them, and humanity has hated pigeons ever since. It's kind of like how Mark Twain roasted coyotes so flagrantly, not only did he
Ooh.
single-handedly earn them smoke from the public, it was directly responsible for the luckless Looney Tune.
Wait,
That's not
really?
a throwaway joke either. Look up what Wile E. Coyote was
Wait, really? Oh, that's a new fact that I just learned.
based on. It's actually wild. But thanks
Really,
to these
though?
3 words, the bird that was more common in royalty than marrying your
Wait, aren't white doves basically like white pigeons a symbolize of good marriage?
cousin, got typecast as the flying version of the animal whose hygiene allegedly turned half the population into a hashtag. I gotta say allegedly because new evidence suggests that rats weren't even responsible for the plague to begin
Oh,
with.
really?
Pigeons got lied on too because they're nowhere near the disease risk we label them as, and I legitimately didn't know that before researching. They can carry disease, but because of their immune system, it's actually rare for them to transmit them to people. I know, I couldn't
Ah.
believe it either. It also turns out the glorified gutter Tweety
So-
is actually resistant
So they are not one of the cleanest ones. So I might be wrong on that one. Might be, but most likely I am.
to bird flu. Now they still can catch you slipping, and usually the problems come from their lesser half. When
Which
pigeons
part?
dry in one spot, it can dry up and eventually turn into dust. Breathe enough of that
That-
doo-doo dust,
that's
and you end
fast?
up with a nasty infection known as bird handler's lung.
Oh,
But even then,
Does
it
that
takes
not
a
sound
while.
good?
On some, you clean birds as a hobby for you to be exposed enough to be down bad.
I mean,
So, yeah,
if you have a pigeon like farm, that's understandable.
yeah, pigeons carry diseases, but no more than any other animal. I mean, by that logic, humans carry disease, but we're still out here raw dogging.
I mean, yeah.
Dogs can carry disease, yet I still see people tongue kissing them. Deer are walking air.
That's what I don't know why, though. Like, why would you tongue kiss the dog? I know licking, like a dog licking you, sure, but tongue kissing, really?
Bees for ticks peddling Lyme disease, and cats done infected half the people watching this. Yet pigeons
Eh.
are the ones that got tattooed as rodents with frequent flyer miles.
Yeah.
Between 1941 and 2000,
That's just devious.
176 documented
It's just
cases of
sad.
pigeons passing off disease to a human. And again, it'd virtually take you being Buddy from that one Hey Arnold episode. You know what else I found out? Pigeons don't really spill sugar honey iced tea while flying. They 100% can, but since that could involve hitting their own feet, they prefer to do it on a perch. So it turns out the
Makes
dirtiest
sense.
thing about pigeons.
Bro has some sick freaking hairlines. Like sick feathers. Like, bro, can you tell me this is not looking so cool?
It's the way we've done them, which actually sucks because once I started to work past my pigeon prejudice, I realized, I can't believe I'm about to say this. Pigeons
Ooh.
are low-key broken, like they're mad talented for no reason.
Oh, really
For
now?
example, they're one of the fastest things with wings in the world. Pigeons can fly at averages of 6.
I mean, there's a hawk? Or is it like flight speed, not descending speed? Because that's what the hawk do.
60 miles per hour, but can
Ah.
peak out at nearly 100. There
Ooh.
have been stories of pigeons triggering speed cameras in streets.
Wow.
They noticed because one of their biggest ops also happens to be the fastest thing alive, which is how they can
Yep.
get packed up by a 200 mile per hour falcon punch.
Oh, it's falcons. Not the hawk.
Put it this way, the fastest thing on Earth hunts pigeons, and even that's not a total mismatch. There's
Damn.
another superpower we don't talk about.
And that is the
Their
ice?
eyes. The only real
Oh.
self-defense pigeons practice is
That was surprising, I actually figured that out.
the power of foresight. So if they don't see danger
Foresight
coming, or
now.
worse, don't recognize it, they just get bullied. But
What the
pigeons
frick?
have 340-degree vision and can even see wavelengths of light
Wow.
invisible to us. They're so busted that the US Navy once upon a time tried using the chicken of the city to conduct search and rescue missions out in the ocean. Basically,
Huh.
they trained a couple pigeons to recognize random red or orange objects, you know, the colors you'd expect from a life jacket, and then press
That's actually
like peck on a
That's actually
certain side.
amazing.
In test runs, the pigeons noticed the target 90% of the time.
Wow.
Completely outclassing the human rescue crew, who just barely pulled off 40%.
Wow.
The fact that the pigeons could remain vigilant for hours without falling off. Unfortunately, the experiment was cut short due to budget cuts.
Wow. Actually, this might be good though. They should bring this back. If that's the success rate, they could probably rescue might be a lot more people on rescue missions. More or less not more sightings, but still will give them a higher boost. They should continue this.
And every pigeon involved getting killed during a crash landing. But
Wow. That's a sad ending.
even this experiment showcased another pigeon flex. They're way smarter than they get credit for. They probably
Really?
think they could talk like parrots or ravens,
Yeah.
but even with a brain in the weight class of
Considering we taught them how to give messages, well, humans do, give pigeons the ability to give messages for a long distance of time, I can see why they're smart.
a walnut, pigeons can still surprise us. Trained pigeons can actually pass the mirror test, the same way most dogs and cats fail. In 1995, a study found that pigeons could be taught to tell
Ooh.
the difference between a Picasso painting and Monet.
How? Like, bro, I guarantee you, 99.9% of my watchers currently watching this video does not know the difference between those two paintings. Or those two styles.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I myself can't do that. To a
Yeah,
certain
same too.
degree, pigeons could be trained to tell apart malignant breast tumors from the benign. And yeah,
Huh?
we're still talking about a bird here. A German study in
How?
1990 found that the avian overachievers could successfully memorize 725 different black and white patterns and correctly identify the 100 patterns.
Oh
associated with
lord.
Pigeons also have an ability to count that rivals primates. Bro, tell me why folks found out that the Bane of Broadway can read. So what scientists did, right? They taught these pigeons a bunch of words and would either show a real word on screen
What the
or
frick?
spelt one to go with a star. If it was an actual word like, for example, dog, they had to peck at the word. And if it was some nonsense like ugged, the rules were to peck at the star.
It's actually
They might
insane.
eat food. Tell me why the feathery
It's actually
assault
so
were actually
insane.
better than the baboons that took the same test. It was at this moment I went from highly impressed to low-key concerned with how smart pigeons
Yeah.
are. A million of them in NYC were cooked if they turned.
Bro, I just realized if pigeons manage to get the same amount of freedom and things we humans have, they will most likely conquer us. Kind of like this episode of, the episode of Rick and Morty. Let me just like get it real quick. Kind of like this episode right here, except for like change the turkey into pigeons. I want to know what will happen. Like, I can just imagine being this, but pigeons. Okay? But, let's continue.
Turn on us. Here's a couple other pigeon
Hmm.
facts I picked up. That thing they'll do where they'll fly around in a circle as a synchronized group, that
Yeah?
has a name, and it's called murmuration. The best
Murmuration?
reason why they do this is as a predator response, because their honest to God best defense is
Oh.
making it harder to be singled out. That weird
It's basically like tuna. That's what tuna does. Yeah. Where they go for a school of fish.
crusty looking bump on their beaks is called the operculum, and it's really only there to cover the nostrils. And like a
Anything
big
else?
hairline, it slowly starts to disappear as they get older.
Oh.
Pigeons are also
So that's basically an
monogamous,
indicator
birds will
of
take till death
age.
seriously. That's probably why you've never seen a baby pigeon. Parents supervise them virtually 24/7 until they look like the urbanite we're used to.
Makes
Pigeons
sense.
are as loyal as birds get.
And a little heads up, if you want to search baby pigeons, I suggest you don't. Because they don't look anyway similar to the pigeons you usually see on the streets. They don't even look similar.
So
Just a little heads up.
they've had success in the military.
And another ad. Well, luckily there's only 2 ads currently. Continue.
This is Cher Ami.
Oh,
The men-
he's actually telling this story. I've heard this story multiple times and I'm still very much so impressed of this bird.
homing pigeons used by the US
Jeremy.
War I. And in 1918, over 500 men got
Oh my god,
behind
quiet
the
because
line
I want
with
you guys to hear
food
this.
or ammunition. Their only option was releasing carrier pigeons begging for support, but the surrounding Germans peeped game and started lighting up any pigeon that tried. And that included Sheikh Ami, who got shot out of the air, but like a goddamn phoenix managed to get back up. Against every force of nature, the plucky pigeon made it back to base, traveling a smooth 25 miles in 25 minutes to deliver the message that would end up saving the remaining 194 men. And he did it half blind with a bullet wound and a leg hanging on by a little
Ooh.
thread. The bird whose name means my dear friend past tense later the next year, but would be forever immortalized in the Smithsonian as the MVP of the 77th Infantry.
Yeah.
G.I. Joe was a homing pigeon who
Oh, this is
came in
new.
clutch
I
when
actually
delivered a message calling off an airstrike of a village that the British had already regained control of from the Germans. If
Oh.
G.I. Joe didn't basically score at the buzzer, at least 1,000 soldiers would have been
Oh,
turned
that's a
into
lot.
ashes. And then there was William of Orange, who traveled 250 miles in just over 4 hours to request air support after the radio
Wow.
had failed. Turned out he was the air support, and William's carry job saved about 2,000 men.
Yo.
Be one of the 32 pigeons to earn the Dickin Award, which was basically like a finals MVP but for animals. Some of the
Yo.
pigeons went from war heroes to people actively trying to wipe them out. We really stay doing our troops wrong.
Yeah,
Say
that's
what
just
say,
dirty.
troops wrong. I was not familiar with their game. You won't catch me moving like this guy, but I'll definitely
I'll
respect it,
basically move like
just
that
from a
guy.
reasonable distance. And that's the most character development you're gonna get. Drink water, hug your loved, tell a pigeon you appreciate them, and I'ma see y'all in the next one.
Actually, wow. Wow. I learned a lot about pigeons today. A lot more than I expected, actually. I mean, seriously, do. That's just impressive, especially for pigeons. I should really try doing some more watching about pigeons. Especially the different kinds. Have you seen the different kinds? Bro, one of them looks majestic, one of them looks epic, and one just looks like skin. Like a skin barren, like a shiny. So yeah, it's actually kinda interesting that there's so much about pigeons that I did not realize. So yeah, so see you to the next video. Bye. Bye 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 bye. Bye bye. See you to the next video.